Hi everyone. It's getting a little bit easier for me doing this nightly journal. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Um, Probably going to keep it really short, seeing as my videos seem to be getting clipped anyway, and I can't get past a few minutes. But yeah, just to say, I am still alive. I don't think I was actually attacked last night, although I was still in pain from the night before, so, it's difficult to tell, but I fell asleep this afternoon, and I was attacked. So yeah, I mean, it's any chance they get, to catch me asleep, to do this to me, which is horrific and cowardly, really horrific and cowardly. I mean, like I said, I mean, this has been going on for like 15 years. And the first 10, I just thought, I was having a hard time. I thought it was just bad luck running into Dave's friend Ray and having to work for him for like 14 months to be thrown out on our ear without pay. And having paid, I paid the insurance on the place, I paid for the repairs, I paid for the pumping system that needed replacing. Literally, I paid for everything. And at first, I kind of felt really kind of hard done by. But, we wasn't the only ones who done it too. There was this really nice gay couple who rented out the beach, took a lease, actually. I think it was a 3-year lease. Paperwork, everything. And they started a carvery. And they done a wonderful job. These two guys run this place so professional. They spent a fortune doing it up. And as soon as it was up and running, he started sending people around threatening them to get out. And, yeah, and I'd say they just got out, but in actual fact, they just disappeared. Didn't see them since. They just vanished. We kind of all know about these cults, and, they get the edge, you can't sue them for things and things like that. But you never expect that, that they could blatantly disregard the law, blatantly take advantage of people. We have a minimum wage in this country. He doesn't even believe in a wage. He believes in IOUs that I'm never going to pay you. And at the end of it, actually says, I'm not going to pay you. I mean, he's just an obnoxious guy. And I don't know why I was finding myself thinking about him so much today. Because he's not really worth thinking about. He's a very nothing person. And he just happens to own an awful lot of property. Which just so happens to have belonged to one of his friends that just died. And, yeah, everything was split between, it was like it was said to me, him and his sister. But whether it was Ray's sister and this guy's wife, or this guy's wife and it was, whichever. I don't know. I really wasn't paying much attention to it. Because to tell you the truth, my mind wouldn't even go to places like that. But there's so many things that have happened since. And all the hush, hush, hush and don't say anything. Whenever this sister turned up on the scene, don't say nothing about. And I'm like, well, I don't know nothing. I wouldn't have known what I was going to say anyway, and I'm damn sure he wouldn't have shut me up if I did have something to say, but... yeah, it's a lot of property. Left to a man that has no idea how to run it. No idea how to keep staff, because he just uses people. I mean, yeah, when you get staff, they call that using people, but you usually pay them. But no, he actually expects you to pay for everything, like a God-given right. And then, he'll use whatever. That's why it came to mind. Because, it seems to be like 2 or 3 different entities that I have hunting me down. One is like more streety people, literally from people who live on the streets, who are more likely to do a bit of work for nothing, hoping that they'll get something. And Gypsy he was very in with gypsies, although they don't do nothing for nothing. They work hard, and you pay them. He would never get away with not paying them. But yeah, it's like that body of people, and then there's the body of people that seems to be like solicitors, judges, counsellors. Although, I know he is a Mason, I mean, he told everybody he was a Mason, and so did Dave, It didn't seem to be quite such a secret society. It was something he used as a threat. And he won one way or another, whether he started with threats. Obviously, he didn't want to pay bribes. And, yeah, I mean, awful things he did. He even offered my son a job to come in and do one of his pubs up one time. And then he came all the way up from London, and he was in a really, emotionally bad space where he just split up with his girlfriend, and he was missing his kids. I mean, he'd been with her since he was 14, and there he was in his late 20s. That's a lifetime, at that age. And he was actually in he was like shock. He was in a really bad way. Yeah, I'd never seen him like that. anyway, you know, this job came up that he suggested, and I got my son up there to do it. And then last minute, no, we don't. We decided we're not having it done. We can't afford it. So I ended up paying for that. You know, I wasn't going to send my son home without his wages, or to let him know that, you know, this pig weren't going to pay him. So yeah, I paid him. And it was quite a lot of money. And I can't remember, you know, the way that I was used. I mean, these narcs, they come in all shapes and forms, and you'd think, being brought up by narcissistic parents, I would have a really good idea of what they're like. But in actual fact, I think it made it harder, because, you know, most people that I knew, you know, were all polite and nice on the outside, and, you know, there was always something awful going on behind the scenes, or that they was capable of. I mean, it's not nice. This is the first time I've ever had to stay in a place where, you know, I'm knowingly being attacked, and there's nothing I can do. I can't go to the council because they won't help me. I can't go to Women's Aid because they're helping triangulate me. I can't go to the police because they'll probably have me locked up in a hospital. I mean, at the moment, they're leaving me alone, and I'm half enjoying the peace. You know, I get to this time of the day, it gets a little bit troubling. You know, I go around and check all the